Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we're speaking about how remote engineers, particularly but not exclusively in Latin America, can have an impact from their own city, hometown, or whatever equivalent for companies on hypergrowth in the States or in Canada or around the world. We'll explore some advantages and disadvantages and challenges of working for a global tech company as a remote, fundamentally Latin American engineer or software developer. So my name is Vicente Plata. I'm a tech lead and manager at Shopify. Previously, I was a senior lead software engineer at Hims and Hers, and I'm excited to be joined by my friend Arnoldo Montaño. He's a front developer at EasyKnock, but also, as many of you may know, like a very famous YouTuber. You should probably check out his YouTube channel. So, Arnoldo, how you doing, man?
Hey, thanks, Vicente. How are you doing? Well, yeah, as you have told the audience, many of you may know me for my YouTube channel, but many of you must not know that I have like more than 10 years experience of as a software developer in well, yeah, so many people think that the YouTubers doesn't have like a real job, but yeah, I do have a real job, and I am happy to share with you guys my experience.
Would you say being a YouTuber is a job by itself, or I don't know, something like a side gig or something to relax or something?
Yeah, you can think a YouTube channel as a job, but it's not that fun as being as a programmer. Yeah.
I love that shake, man. That's awesome. I completely agree with it. Okay, so first off, I would like to talk about like our experience. How did we get to Terminal? Like, I don't work directly at Terminal anymore, but I did before. And
Yep.
basically, I was working at after being at Microsoft for around 6, 7 years. I worked at a smaller company in Toronto, and then I was reached out by a couple of companies, including one which was Terminal, that introduced me to Hims and Hers. And when I got like this overview of what the company was all about, telemedicine and with very high growth potential, being I'm not the first engineer, but among the first ones, like properly internally, not through an agency whatsoever, and being able to build teams, I was super hyped. And I was super hyped by that, and also by the fact that I knew back then Terminal, well, I was told they were planning to expand to Latin America because back then it was only Canada, right? Now, so they told me about it, like, hey, we're planning to expand to Mexico and Colombia and whatever. And I'm all like, dude, I want to be part of this. Like, I want to be able to, or I want to help bring opportunities, like the mission says, like a little bit closer to where talent is. So that was very, very cool. What about you, Arnoldo? How did it go for you?
Well, for me, I don't know if even you guys know that I am from a small town in Mexico called Chihuahua, like the dog, but we don't have so many dogs down here. And yeah, you couldn't say that Chihuahua is like a huge tech impact city. So I was working here in smaller companies dedicated to develop software. When I was working at AutoZone, I was in contact with some people from the United States. That was like my first contact with a company from the US, and then I switched to working with like a nearshore company. You know, these kind of companies have like well have a rise in the last couple of years, and then I remember that you told me that you work at this amazing company called Terminal, and when a recruiter contacted me in my email about this company, I have a knowledge beforehand of how Terminal was doing, or how the Terminal was working with remote engineers, and I said yes at the first time that I saw that message. In yeah, and I am here. So yeah,
Love at
very
first
cool.
call or something like that, eh? No, that's so cool, man. But why were you interested in working for companies in the States, having like a reasonable amount of options in Mexico and particularly in northern Mexico?
Well, one of the main things that I was looking for was to improve my development game. I know that, well, here in Mexico, we have some sort of like cap at what things you can do. Well, not so much right now because the skill of the Mexican developers have increased a lot in the last years. But in my time, you improve only by migrating to the states or to some other country, and having the opportunity to grow without leaving my hometown was, like you say, love at first sight. This was like the main thing that I was that I was looking for, some kind of growth, but without leaving my hometown. It was the thing that called to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I gotta say, personally, even though I was already in Canada back then when I was approached by Terminal, the impact and how it's changed my career for the best has been like considerable. Everything I think at the end of the day serendipitously leads you to where you are right now. But there are some things that impact more than others. And even what I've been doing in the last couple of months or up to a year, which is advising companies in Latin America and States a lot, it has a lot to do with what I learned and with what I did through Terminal and HIMSS, right? So being able to like actually be part of that, have what would be like a reasonable amount and even I would say perhaps life changing of equity and influence and even like I don't know cred or whatever. It is something that it is very hard to put into words, right? So, how do you feel? And obviously, to the extent that you feel comfortable, but how do you feel regarding like a comp wise or impact wise this switch to terminal, which is working remotely with a structure that supports you from a legal and fiscal standpoint, but that's still super close to clients. How do you feel that it's impacted your career?
Well, I think that working directly with a company instead of working like as a nearshore developer has given me the opportunity to work more closely with the product, with improving the company. Because when you work with a nearshore company, there's little room to improve or to like doing some job that will change how the company is doing. And working directly with terminal and with EasyKnock has given me the opportunity to like make decisions that will impact how the company goes. And all in all, giving me the opportunity to improve myself as a developer. I have like completely ownership of my time, of the time, the things that I do, and I have to be focused on how the things work and how the things go in my day, because I am the complete owner of my time and my job. So yeah, that feels really cool.
I mean, let's be super honest. You come up with a crazy YouTube video idea in the middle of the day. Do you just sit down and start recording it? Do you wait until the end of the day, or how does it go?
Well, for me, my schedule is if I come up with an idea, I just have to write it down. I I am a software developer from Monday to Friday. In on the evenings, maybe I can work on my YouTube channel, but I don't record videos until Sunday. So you have to be like focused in to divide the time to give the attention to the things at the time that is relevant to the task that you are doing. Because if you start jumping to like working on the YouTube channel, working on the product, it's going to turn you crazy, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to be very focused.
No, absolutely agree. So when we think about reservations or doubts or whatever, I think we can split them on two fields, right? On two big kind of areas. One of them is the reservations or the doubt that you may have about the opportunity and the company, and the other one, the reservations and the doubts that you may have about yourself. Which kind of doubts or which kind of fears did you have about the opportunity and the company itself, and how did you overcome them? Because I assume a lot of folks that are watching us right now go like, well, what if it's a scam, or what if at the end of the day I don't get paid like the amount of money that I'm told I'm going to be paid or something? Did you face that, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, certainly. I faced so many fears. Like, for example, one of them is what you mentioned. Like, I am being scammed by this company because the amount of money that they are offering me, it's nothing close what I can make here in Mexico. The other thing is, well, what happens if I am working like 2 months with this company and then suddenly they told me that they are no longer needing my skills. And well, for me it was some kind of easy because I knew some friends that were working, including you, that were working with this kind of approach with this kind of companies. And for me, talking with other developers that were doing like the same thing that I was planning to do was a big relief, because I found that these companies were really looking to work with people in Mexico and Latin America, and these kind of things were possible now, as opposed in the past that they were looking for people to move to the US or to Canada. But yeah, I felt really lucky that I was living in this time had with these kinds of opportunities. And yeah, I feel relief just talking to some other of my coworkers or my friends.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. When I saw the opportunity at first, I mean, maybe there was like a jump, like cash wise, definitely. But the biggest thing that I couldn't fathom was that everything that had to do with vacation, compensation, and equity and all that was directly with the partner company in the States,
Yeah,
right? So that's something that it was completely new to me. Also, having worked at, both as an FTE at Microsoft and all that, but also as a nearshore developer, it was always fighting on or arguing, well, not fighting, but arguing and making all those kind of negotiations directly with the guy who was working with you, or with the salesman or the product or the project manager or whatever, and not with the engineering manager at the company that you were working at the end. At
yeah,
a personal level, though, I gotta say, I feel kind of lucky that I had already lived in Canada for a couple of years. So although my English is far from perfect, it is not like what I would consider a weakness. What I did consider a weakness was not having enough startup and hyper growth experience. Like, I think historically I'd worked at companies that were a little bit more established. So learning everything that you have to learn about startups and about like wearing multiple hats and just shipping the thing and all that is something that originally, being a little bit more dogmatic when it came to code and team management and all that, I didn't fully fathom, right, and I felt a little bit insecure about. I eventually like overcame it when I saw the folks that were like on similar situations. But what was it that you personally maybe initially had doubts about, like from a self doubt perspective?
well, the first thing that I feared about myself is that if I am like capable of working at these companies, if I am like technically at the level of working at this kind of companies, and well, yeah, working at AutoZone in some of the other nearshore companies, I just needed to like take the veil of my eyes to know that here in Latin America we have some very skilled engineers, and just need to make like the leap of faith and start working with the companies to know that maybe if you don't have like the level or the seniority required for the job, it's just a matter of working with the companies and gaining this experience, and you can work with any company in the US or in the world if you have like the right skill set. It's nothing to do with the place you live, or well, obviously you have to communicate in English. But yeah, this was other thing that I feared. Are the people going to understand my English? Are people going to like understand the things that I am telling them? But yeah, it was just a matter of have confidence in myself, of like try to get things done. And well, yeah, it comes with experience.
Dude, imagine on the Monday stand up saying something like, I don't know, hola chavos, ¿cómo están? And they look, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's, I mean, for the English speaking audience, that's like Arnoldo's catchphrase when it starts like the
yeah.
YouTube videos. So like, hey guys, how you doing? Or something like that. So something else that I find interesting of a difference between nearshore companies, like, regular nearshore companies and terminal, is the fact that in nearshore companies, even though some of them are product minded, you generally end up like taking care of legacy systems with legacy
Yeah.
technologies. And that's something that I saw. I interviewed a guy from a well-known nearshore company in Mexico recently for Shopify, and he was using like some old versions of React. And I mean, not that it was bad per se, like he was very good, but obviously there were some dissonances between what we would expect probably and what he was doing. How did you feel about it at Terminal, like actually being perhaps part of the team and being like a first class citizen versus one of a first class citizen, but actually probably not fully in the loop?
Working for startups in this startup growth world and hyper growth, it's exciting because you get to work with the state of the art technology, and you are expected to know or to like handle these tools in a finer way. But I think that working with these nearshore companies give me the like the experience in like the skills to like kind of learn for myself these other technologies, or to jump this little step that I have to do. But yeah, I feel like working directly with the company makes an impact, like in myself, in my work, and also with the company, because um, you get to work so closely with the product that you improve in so many other areas, instead of just being a good developer. You know about the product, you know about how startups, or the process that startups like grow from the round of the capital round, and those kind of like getting the money to work. It's exciting to be in this world.
I mean, it's something that you can like do at the end, and you can take for yourself, right? I would say like what I've been fortunate to do in the last couple of months with, I don't know, 500 in Latin America or Founders Institute or something, has a lot to do with what I learned about funding and, the
Yeah.
different rounds and the different like metrics that generally you have to report to investors. So I can look at it from the other side, right? So
Yeah.
it's like we tend to look, I think, at software development careers as something that's just, okay, the framework, the technology, getting things done, and that's amazing. But the cool thing about this is that not only the startup grows like exponentially or hyper growth, as we tend to call it, but you also grow. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
where did you see yourself? And maybe it's just a bit of spoiler alert. Maybe you want to skip it, but where do you see yourself based on the knowledge that you've acquired so far at EasyKnock? I mean, hopefully not in the next couple of months. Sorry, EasyKnock, if we're like getting him to think about it too early, but probably in the next couple of years or something like that. How do you think you could apply it?
Um, well, I would like to explore a role of management, of leadership myself. I maybe here at EasyKnock, or in any other company. But yeah, I think with the knowledge that I am acquiring here at EasyKnock, it will be easy for me if I wanted to like start my own company, my own startup. This is the magic, like to work at these kind of companies, because you acquire so much knowledge about some other things, like managing people, like how to communicate efficiently, how to the startups work, the startup world work. And this is one of the things that I like working at these kind of companies.
Okay, so you're there already. Like you landed the job, you excelled the interviews, you got like cleared up of all your doubts about the company, hopefully, and of most of them about yourself. The ones that are left, you say, okay, I'm gonna face them like as we go. I'm gonna try to get rid of them or to validate them or whatever. What were the actual challenges? Like not kind of self doubt and I don't know how it's gonna play out, but what were the actual challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Well, one of the main challenges that always always face working at these companies is communication and be present. You are like maybe in a different time zone. For example, I am in Chihuahua and EasyKnock is in New York. There's a 2 hour difference, and be present. Um, be present, and communicate with the team efficiently, and let them know that I am working, and let them know that I am not wasting my time. This is a challenge we all face when working with this type of companies. And what I like to do is communicate efficiently with my manager, communicate efficiently with my team, um, be present. It's not like a matter of always be in front of the computer, but be available to when they are expecting to be they are expecting you to be present in the work, and just focusing in my regular day to day work.
Yeah, no, I mean, speaking of that, something that I also struggled with a couple of times working remotely is just the connection, but more of the human connection kind of thing, right? And I saw that Francois was here actually also from Hims and Hers, and I think with him I used to have like a very cool chemistry, and we lived in the same city, well nearby, like for a couple of months, so we synced. But with other people, it was challenging, right? And I think
Yeah.
it's getting better now because, well, pretty much everyone is working remotely whenever possible. So everyone has this mindset of if I'm going to socialize, it's likely going to be through Slack or with, I don't know, a game of drawing stuff or whatever. But back then it was hard. So my hope is that everything we've learned so far of working remotely and in the middle of, this pandemic lockdown or semi-lockdown situation, it is definitely going to continue increasing the potential for people to have an impact and to have a proper connection. Because for me, it's
Yeah.
important that, I don't know, I may ping in terminal, I may ping, I don't know, Neville, or I may ping Francois, or I may ping you, or like from past lives or whatever, and we can like chat about anything and what have you, right? But I have seen that as a challenge for some remote positions, to be honest. Eh?
Yeah, well, the thing that I like to do to connect with some people of my current company or even my team is that find some common interests. For example, I like to play video games and I like to talk about video games a lot. So when I first entered EasyKnock, I went to the Slack and searched for the gaming channel. This is for me this is a an easy way to connect with people because they play games. Maybe we can like set a gaming session in some kind of online game, um, just to um, not everything be about work. Every uh, to get to know your colleagues and to know their interests and how is life with them and stuff. This kind of little chit chat, it's a good thing to make a connection with people.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you do Twitch in addition to YouTube? I haven't paid attention now that you mentioned video games.
No, I haven't do Twitch because if when you do Twitch, you start to look at the at gaming as a job. So yeah, I like to keep it.
Keep it in the code.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So we've been, I think, a little bit, I don't know, like not as concrete and not as nerdy as some folks probably want us to be. So tell me about a thing, like a proper, I don't know, release or an experiment or a test or whatever that you did at EasyKnock, like obviously, as long as it does not break your NDA or whatever, that you feel particularly proud about. Like, can you recall an example in particular that made you feel like, okay, what I'm doing is actually cool shit that matters, cool stuff that matters about it?
Well, yeah, we're working on this customer portal for it's a new product that we are building, and my manager handed me this feature that will be an important feature on this product. It was like a document upload piece of work that I completely own this feature, and well, yeah, I feel like I am doing a good job because they let me like define everything, like scope the work, a little of the architecture, how this thing is going to work, and like coordinate the QA test and stuff. Um, in I5, I feel like owning this feature has helped me like grow in so many aspects besides coding because I need to communicate with the QA team, with the CX team to coordinate this feature. And well, yeah, it's great to be working on this important feature for the product.
Yeah, no, I do recall from my time at Hims and Hers that something that I worked on was the mobile app for doctors. Back then, it was only web, and we used React Native for web, and there were a couple of interesting things there. Like I know that the current app that they have also works on React Native, and is sort of based on what we built. It was not my idea. It was the idea of a guy called Ozen. He's amazing, but he worked on my team and he got us all on board. And that's how I learned about React Native, which eventually led to me joining Shopify, like
Oh,
leading
cool.
the team that does parts of the React Native app, of the React Native shop app. So again, it all, I think, serendipitously, when you look at it, when you look back at it, like, hindsight is 2020, whatever, but kind of leads to the spot where you're at, right? What do you do in addition? Is there anything you do in addition to gaming that helps you build a relationship with your manager or with your team?
Well, with my manager, I have a one-on-one session planned for every week when we talk about some different kind of topics, like how's life, how's family, just some things other than work, to like connect. And yeah, with my team, we found that another people in my team like to read sci-fi books, so we kind of like set up a book, like a book club, or some sorts. And this helps like connect with the people besides from work, finding another kind of interests. And yeah, that's the thing that I like to do.
Totally. If I had to give a tip, I think it would be expanding on that. Yes, we are different, and that's what makes our teams so strong. The difference
Yeah.
that we got a lot, but try to look at the things where we're similar when you're going to build connections. Like, for example,
Yeah.
my Skip knows that I like Pokemon, so every now and then he'll chat about what he found in Pokemon Go. And then
Oh,
there is
cool.
one manager that knows that I like a Marvel thing, so he chats about, I don't know, the latest WandaVision episode that he's catching up on and all that. So try to find the things that there are more things that connect us. There are more bridges between them
Yeah.
than differences or walls or whatever. And even these differences can be exploited to like make us a better, more rounded team and build cooler stuff together, right? So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything like any final tip you may have for our friends in the last 2 minutes that I think we got here.
Yeah, maybe the tip that I will have for you guys is like you start to explore these kind of opportunities that you have remotely outside your country, because this can be like a huge jump in your career. If you feel some kind of fear or insecurity, you can chat with people in Twitter or online. um, Sometimes there are people willing to talk about these kind of opportunities down there. So research the companies that are willing to work with people in Latin America, and start applying to these opportunities. You will find that even if you get rejected, you will learn something, and eventually you will get to be you will land a job and start working with a remote company, and it will be like a huge jump in your career. So yeah, that's the tip.
Totally. Well, friends, I mean, you're living in a golden age. You just gotta keep knocking doors. You just gotta keep kicking doors when needed. You just gotta keep contacting people, doing your best, doing good job, and throwing good vibes around, trying to help everyone around you. You can do this. Just go for it. And I think we're rooting for you. We're cheering for you. So thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, Arnoldo. I know whenever we chat, I feel like it's more of a podcast and jokes and all that than anything else. So it's also a pleasure. And yeah, I'll send it back to Terminal, to the event managers to like take you to what's next. So thank you very much.
If you're still interested in finding a awesome remote engineering job, I encourage you to head to app.terminal.io. There you can create a profile with Terminal to be matched with exclusive remote engineering roles. Terminal connects developers with full-time roles at fast-growing US companies like EasyKnock, Handshake, Tile, Bungalow, and more, so that you can work with Silicon Valley from the comfort of your own home.